Today we're going to be ranking every single operator in Rainbow Six Siege with the help of my chat so that we can determine who the best and who the worst operators are in Year 9 Season 4. Let's get active! We obviously have the shield changes, the Blackbeard rework, the flashbang changes with the big one, Sens buff, Thunderbird buff, Warden changes. There's a lot going on here. We're starting out with Ace. Ace is still one of the best operators in the game. Not a lot of changes here. He's just going to be S tier. Easy S tier. First S tier. Right on the tier list. Everybody knows Ace is S tier. There's nothing to even talk about there. Alibi. Still only has a one-time sight. Still pretty mid. I'm going to put her in like the D tier. Her gun's fine, but you know, she's just not good. Next up, we got Amaru. I mean, you got the ACOG G8. You got the SMG 11. You got a good loadout. You can get some positional advantages. She's like a decent op, you know, but she only has 2 flashbangs now. So I think the Heartbreach tools are actually going to be a better pick a lot of the time. I think she's like an okay operator, good for map control, great loadout. I'm putting her in the C tier. Where is Blackbeard? He's coming up. We'll get to Blackbeard very soon. Who's hyped for the Blackbeard rework ranking? I am! We got Aruni next. Aruni is a very good operator. The gates are just good for map control, information, doing damage last second in the round if it really comes down to it. She also has a fantastic DMR, and her fist stability is a very, very key part of her loadout. I would put her in A or B tier, maybe like a low A tier up. I would say A, actually. She's like, yeah, she's very good, very good. Ash, new season. Utility is gonna be a little harder to deal with now, I think, just because there isn't as many flashbangs. So I think we might see a rise in like Jaeger with my gameplay. Will that mean we'll see a rise in like bulletproof utility? Probably. Because of that, I think Ash is still gonna be like a top A op. She's just such a good fragger, super good for entry, has an amazing gun, and great for taking space. I think she's just a really, really good operator right now. Not quite S tier, but very solid. Next up, we got Azami. She has been nerfed over and over, but she is still an S tier operator. One of the best defenders in the game. Nothing to argue about there. Very good. Great on the fly playmaking. Great guns too, and nothing to talk about further. Bandit's really good. One of the biggest changes for Bandit was the fact that you can throw C4s out of Mav holes with the C4 lineup. So the C4 lineup changes actually nerfed Mav, making Bandit even better, because really the biggest Bandit counter is Mav, but combo with Tubero coming out, and Bandit's actually like become very strong lately. I'm gonna put him in the A tier. I think he's like a very good wall denial operator right now, and Bandit tricking is the fastest way to get Heartbreach off the wall. Blackbeard rework. This is the one people want to know about. How good is Blackbeard really? Here's the thing, and I put this on Twitter. You cannot knock someone over and shoot them before they have time to react, meaning when you melee someone over with the shield and then you ADS to go and shoot them, by the time you're fully ADS, they can already shoot back and react to you. So if you do that, they theoretically can shoot you in the face before you can shoot them. So that is a big thing to note. You're not going to win that 1v1 in that very close range, specifically because of that reason, unless you keep meleeing them over and over and you have the timing perfect and they're reacting poorly and they're playing it poorly. Now, if they're already aiming at you and you drop the shield and ADS, you're just gonna die. They're gonna shoot you in the face. You don't have the time to like beat them on the speed because it's a slower ADS, and your gun has to be all the way locked down on the shield to actually shoot. So the defender really should win that like every single time, in my opinion. If you go through a wall, so you do the orcs actually while you are stunned for like a couple seconds, it's quite a long time where you can't shoot, you can't sprint, and you can like, you're moving very slowly. You can also hop breach windows just by rappelling straight into them, which is a big thing about them. And you can keep the shield out on rappel, so you can actually play him from rappel like old Blackbeard would, which is really cool. I know they mentioned it in the reveal trailer, but they didn't actually show the footage. Like I said here, he's strong but not invincible. And with the shield nerfs, you can't simply do anything you want with him anymore because shields are no longer anywhere near as strong as they were before. Because of this, I do think Blackbeard is still very good. You can take a lot of map control, take a lot of space, and they can't neglect the fact that you're there, or else you can just ADS and kill them. I think he's very good. I am going to put him in the A tier, probably right below Ash here. Only time will tell on the new season, but right now, my first impression, I think he's like a solid, not OP, but strong attacker. Before we move on to the rest of the operators, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, GamerGains. GamerGains is one of the only platforms where you can earn real money for completing daily challenges and doing contests, all while playing your favorite games. Hopefully that's Rainbow Six, but if not, there are a bunch of other games you can earn from as well. Signing up is very simple. You can use a Discord or Google account and then link your game account to start earning right away. Once you complete a challenge, you get your rewards. It's really that easy. You can earn cash for some challenges and gamer tokens for others, all lead back to the same place in the end, which is you getting paid. The contests are especially cool though, because they track the best scores from your rank games and then put you on a leaderboard against other players. It's a great form of extra competition that makes playing ranked even more fun. Once you've dominated the competition, you can instantly withdraw your winnings using PayPal or Venmo, which transfers right away. Or if you prefer, you can use it instead to buy gift cards directly from the Gamer Gains marketplace, which are sent right to your email. So guys, keep your competitive edge and keep training your Siege skills by going and signing up to Gamer Gains right now. If you use my referral code in the description and pinned comment, you'll also get a nice sign up bonus. Next we have Blitz. I think Blitz is one of the best shields with the nerf to the shields because he is still extremely effective in the close range because of the flash. So you can still get up close, flash, ADS, shoot them, and they can't react to it. Compared to like the melee priority that the Monty had, which was one thing that made Monty so oppressive, is the fact that you could just get close up, drop the shield and melee, and you would win that fight every time. Blitz still has that close range advantage, which is what makes him so good. You don't really even need the melee priority because you're already flashing them and you can just shoot them. I still think Blitz is very strong. The shield suppression by actually shooting the shields is a big nerf though. So I'm gonna put him like high B. He could still be an A tier op, but I'm gonna put him in B for now because that's my best guess. We got Brava next. Brava, super good. Obviously you can hack a bunch of utility. She has great guns, great loadouts, smokes, playmaking potential, very nice, well-rounded operator. And I think people are kind of getting used to that, like, oh, give our Brava a little time to like hack some things and do some things, and not everyone's running into the building every single round dying instantly anymore. Is she an S tier operator? I would say she's an S tier operator in the rounds that she's actually useful, but there's a lot of rounds where you're not hacking that much. Like they might have, like they're just bringing Legion and Doc, Castle, or a zombie, and maybe a Jaeger, and the only thing you're really getting is the Jaeger ADSs and the default cams. So I think she's like not always useful, which is the only reason I'm gonna put her in the A tier, but I do think she's high A still, maybe even an S. Next up we got Buck. Buck has taken a nerf from the flashbang changes, which is sad. Having 3 flashes is obviously a lot better than having 2. You have an extra one, you can do more, you can clear more, you can be more aggressive. He still has the hard breach tools. I personally think he's better most of the time with the flashbangs. I don't think this will nerf him too much, and I do think he is still an S tier operator because of the versatility that he brings to the squad. He's a versatile operator and he's very good. I'm gonna keep him in the S tier. He just might be switched around a little bit. What about Capitao? Capitao was used enormous amount of times at the Montreal Major, which happened recently. This would be last week by the time this video is up, but I don't think he's that good for rank. The reason he's used so much in Pro League is the coordination that comes with an entire team execute. They have pre-planned smokes and fires that they're doing and acting off of with an entire team to make that play good. In terms of ranked, you have to be versatile. You need the option to go different places and do different things. Capitao has that a little bit, but it's a high risk environment, pulling out that crossbow and actually shooting 2 flames and then switching and then shooting 2 smokes. You're vulnerable for a very long time, and in a ranked system where people swing a ton of the time, he's just not worth the risk in my opinion, which is why I am putting him in the C tier. Next up is Castle. Very good operator, very good, especially when you're playing aggressive teams and you need to just slow them down or provide more cover. Really, you can set up castle strategies that if they don't drone out or they don't actually break it down or destroy your castles, you just can instantly get advantages. And I think Castle is very strong. Having the ump is not the best, plus his site setup takes quite a while. I think he's like a top B. I think he's like a top B operator. Yeah. Gotta be B tier. Yeah, you guys agree. Yeah, nice. What about Cav? Ooh, I think Cav can actually be one of the best picks in many situations. If you're playing very aggressive teams that aren't droning as much, or they're not getting on flank drones and they're kind of neglecting the information game, I think she is literally an S tier operator. You pick one guy off and interrogate, all of a sudden you've won the round, right? Hopefully, unless your whole team runs at them and dies. But she can be simply countered. Her guns are not that good. I really honestly want to put Cav in like a C tier role. Like, I know that people are like, oh, she's F or she's D, and like if you're picking Cav, you're trolling. But I do think she's good even at the top ranks right now. In competitive, she's probably like D or F, but in ranked, I would say she's probably like C. In lower ranked, she's probably like A. In high ranked, which is what I play, I would put her in the C tier, low C. Clash is like one of the most horrible operators in the game. She's maybe good for like 3 sites. She's good in comp to a certain extent, but in rank, no, I'm putting her in the F tier. I think like there's just always a better pick than Clash in pretty much every single situation. So she is going to be good against shields, but outside of that, like most of the time she's not doing that much. She got buffed with the shield nerf. How so? Like, is she even more effective against shields now? She's still not worth bringing, especially because you can counter shields in so many different ways now. I'm leaving her an F tier. I don't care. What about Deimos? Great for solo queue. Great for 5 stacking. I think Deimos is one of the best operators in the game. If you have the skills to be good with Deimos, he is an S tier operator. However, he is a little weaker on console because it's harder to use the pistol on console. S tier on PC, maybe like a B tier on console. I'm putting him here. This is, for me personally, as a professional Rainbow Six player, he's going to be in the S tier. Okay, we got Doc next. Doc, I mean, he's obviously run and gun, shoot, heal people. He's fine. I mean, in ranked, he's like B tier, maybe A tier. Just because so many people are running around shooting people, healing people is nice. In comp, he's nowhere near A tier because they were dying so quick that the stims are never going to get off. But in ranked, he's like pretty good, obviously. You just run around, you have a great gun, you have an ACOG, you got heals. Very nice. Dokubi's super annoying still. I mean, even with the calls, she's not as super OP because you can't get that like entry Dokubi potential like right off the start of the round. So it gives the defenders a little bit more time in the round to actually be ready for it. I think she's still really good, and she is banned all the time still, obviously. And you can hack cams. I mean, honestly, the hack cams is the biggest part. I'm still going to put her in the S tier. She's still super good. She has lost a stun grenade, which is, you know, unfortunate, but Dokubi's strength comes from her team play and her ability to sync randoms up together and just give information to everyone without having to call out. So it gives information to everyone that you didn't have before. So not only if you already are calling out, do you have more info, but if you weren't, then you also have more info for everyone. So it's very, very good. She's going to be an S tier. Plus she has the SMG-12. Very nice. Echo impacts. Honestly, I think Echo is so underrated. The fact that you can have 2 cameras. So you're essentially, Valkyrie has 3 cameras, right? Echo has 2. Pretend he's Valkyrie. And then you can stun people, move them around, drone people, and have impact grenades and a sick gun at the same time. That's kind of gas. So where would we put him because of all that? I would put him in the A tier. I think he's even better than Doc and Bandit and Aruni and probably Blackbeard. We'll put him right here. And on an overall general note, Echo is so good. Just start picking him, start playing him. I promise you it'll work out. Ella with impacts is honestly pretty decent. Plus she can counter shields, but shields are not as good. So Ella is not as good. Therefore, just as an information op, there are better picks, but the fact you can like set up mines, impact a wall, exciting stuff, it's like pretty okay. It's like decent. I think she's like low B, maybe C. You guys think C? Maybe C tier. I'm gonna move Capitao up to B tier. Okay, I think Capitao deserves B tier because he is on like another level above Ella in my opinion. Fenrir is next. Fenrir is an operator that you can just sit and cover and wait. You sit there, you wait for it to go off, you swing, they can't see you, they die. It's insane. That is an insane ability. I think Fenrir is still an S tier defender. He is a little harder to use, but he's very, very good, and he's worthy of the S tier for sure. We got Finka. The best part about Finka in Year 9 Season 3 and before was the fact that you combo her with shields, which were already so strong, and now they become even more OP. However, shields are a little less OP now. Does that make Finka worse? Maybe, but because the shields are a little less OP, they might be taking more damage because of it, which might make Finka even better. Does that just cancel itself out? Perhaps. I think the LMG is nasty. She has grenades, obviously. You could use flashes, but I was using the grenades anyway. I'm going to keep her in the A tier. I think A tier is like a good spot for her. What about Flores? I think Flores could see a rise in playtime this season because of the fact that there's less flashbangs. With each operator only have 2 flashbangs, well, Maya and Jaeger might be played more because it's going to be harder to burn and clear those things. I think Flores is underused. Very strong, very good operator. I would say like B, but I think he's realistically like an A tier, low A. Not always useful, but he's good. You know, he's very good. B because of Mute. That's true, actually. Mute's pretty good. But Penguin R6 is an ex-professional, and Heath says B, so I'll put him at the top of B, and that feels better to me too. Okay, Frost is next. What do you think about Frost? Do you like when your legs get snapped over your skull with a freaking bear trap clap, and then you just, I'm just gonna pull this off. I'm good, actually. I think Frost is just only good on some maps. She's a solid op. She's decent. She's a good pick. You know, she's just a good extra, like, utility kind of coverage control operator. She's decent. You could shoot them, though. You know, it's more like just sometimes they just go clutch. Sometimes they just go hard, especially on some sites. And you can play around them. I think she's kind of on the same level as Castle. Frost and Castle, they're kind of interchangeable and they kind of do the same things, but just for different reasons, and they counter different things at the same time. But they're just, you know, they're nice. Frost is either a must pick or a do not pick on each site. That's true. We got Fuse next. Fuse shield was very, very gross in Year 9 Season 3, but it's Year 9 Season 4 now. So where does the shield lie? I think Fuse is just a little too slow. He's a high risk operator. He does have the AK-12 as well. I definitely think he's below the A tier. I know if this is a Garfield is Doc video, we put in the S tier, but Garfield is Doc is short, so his opinion is wrong. I am going to put him in the C tier. I don't pick him that much, and I don't think he's that good. Oh, he is good for bandit trick countering. That is true, actually. But that's only on some maps, and it's fairly niche. They have to be bandit tricking in order for that to actually work, and then they can just run away. It does help get the wall, but there's other ways around it. I don't think fuse is like usually necessary. Plus, if you're doing it on a site like Top Floor Nighthaven Labs where you do get the wall, then you have nothing else to really fuse after that point. So it's kind of like, ah, well, I'm picking it up just to help open a wall when I could have just gone someone else, like Thatcher or like Deimos below, you know, and then you can shoot kill bandit from below and then do it somewhere else. I think you see. We got Glaz next. Now Glaz and Sens was a great combo, but now Glaz can't see through Sense walls because they're not smokes anymore. So where does Glaz lie now? Well, I still think Glaz is good for solo, like aggressive plays, smoke it down, walk in smoke, get active. But most of the time, there's a better pick than Glaz, so he is going to join the C tier. But he can be good if you use him right. I agree. I think he can be good. Goyo. Great for time stall, great weapon, impact grenades, playmaker, solid operator for control and time stall, and just like killing people straight up. I think S tier might be a little bit high. I would put him in the A tier. We'll put him high A, guys. Gridlock. When we're hitting the gritty, it's getting litty. The last time I saw a Gridlock, I watched her throw her tracks down, then I walked through all of them and shot her in the back of the head. I think she's the inferior flank watch operator. I'm just going to say it. I think she is not as good as Nomad, but she is good for site executes, loudness, and like chaos. I think Gridlock is much better used as like a chaos operator than a flank watch operator. If you're using it as a flank watch, she's probably not going to get the job done. I'm not going to lie, unless the other team is bad, which is probably most of you guys. I'm not a big fan of Gridlock, but she is good for like site executes. I think she's like on the same level as like Glaz, honestly. So I'm going to put her like high C. Grim, S tier, absolute gangster. Grim's one of the best ops in the game. He was used so much at the Montreal Major because he's so strong. You can really see how teams use him super effectively. The fact they last 16 seconds means you could literally shoot a Grim on your backside and use it as a flank if you needed to, just for time stall. Like, it's so crazy how long these last for, how effective they are, how strong they are. Insane op, very good, very well-rounded, and very easy to use. Habana is next. I think Habana's like probably just shit. She's just shit in ranked. Great in comp, shit in ranked. I mean, she's fast. She can open hatches better, but every other hard breacher, I don't use Habana anymore. You know why? Because all the other ones are just better in my opinion. I'd put her in like low B. Like, she's still a good op, don't get me wrong. Hard breach is always gonna be strong, but I'm just not picking her over the other hard breachers. Hot take, Habana is C or D tier and is the worst hard breacher and worse than the hard breach tools. Because that is a good point. Why would you bring Habana for all the hatches when you could just pick 2 operators with hard breach tools? When you're bank based, when you could pick 0 with 2 hard breach tools or Buck with 2 hard breach tools. That's honestly a really good point. I'm actually going to move her to the C tier because of it, but I don't think she's ever like a bad pick. You know, she's got versatility and the ranged hard breach is decent. Yana is next. Yana, no flashes. So much worse with no flashes. I'm about to give you a real hot take with Yana. Yana is D tier. If you're solo queue, Yana is not that good anymore because you can't act off your information because you don't have the flashes. In a team environment, you don't need Yana because everyone is droning. So when are you picking Yana? Maybe they're bringing in a Rooney. I mean, she's still overall pretty good. She has good guns. She has the smoke grenades. You could play her as a support and like add pressure isolated on your own. But if you're doing that, even still, she's kind of like D. I just don't think like she's worth picking in basically any situation anymore. IQ is next. She has grenades. She has the commando. She has the IQ scanner. There's been a lot of like gadget play and trap play lately, which I think makes IQ very relevant and very useful. I'm going to put her like high B. I don't think she's like always a great pick. And usually a lot of the time you see this stuff, but it's not really doing that much. But you know, there's plays you can make with IQ. I'll give her like a high B. She's a fine operator. She's a good pick. Jackal, still one of the most overrated attackers in the entire game. I honestly just hate Jackal, bro. I don't even think he's B tier. Okay, yeah, he's low B. He's low B. He goes right here. He is useful. He's annoying to play against as a defender. He is good for clearing if you can find the footprints before you find the defender, which is most of the time, to be fair. He's got a great gun. He's got smokes. He doesn't go blurry when he gets shot with his glasses on anymore, so that's a nice quality of life change. Does make him a little bit better. Low B. That's where I'd put him. I think Jaeger will actually be even better in the new season. Flashes are only 2 instead of 3 now. One of the biggest changes of the season, which might mean Jaeger Wamai are coming back, baby. And honestly, I think Jaeger's gun's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I'm going to put him high B. I'm going to put him high B. I do still think there's other operators you can pick over Jaeger, but like high B. High B is close to A, okay? We got Cade next. Cade is the best wall denial operator. You can Cade trick. You can do invincible Cades. There's a lot going on for Cade. He's definitely in the S tier operator, and 100% better than Bandit. What about Callie? Callie's been on the rise lately, chat. With the lances and the flashbangs going downhill, I think she's like honestly pretty decent if you play her the right way. If you're baiting with Callie, she's gonna be bad, but I think she has climbed her way to the C tier. Actually, useful sometimes. Don't use Callie as a wall denial. Use her as a utility clear. Use her like Ashe, not like Thatcher. If you do that, you will be successful with Callie. Use the secondary SMG, be aggressive, use it to clear utility, and that's the best way to play Callie. That will make her a C tier operator. Otherwise, she's going to be D or she's going to be F. Capcan's still a beast. Still a beast. I mean, Capcan hasn't changed. He's still a beast. I'm putting him in the A tier. I don't care. So many good spots for Capcan traps, and like that's just free kills. If you're playing Capcan, do 3 on one doorway, 2 on the other. It's your highest chance of getting kills. If you're spreading them all out, they're gonna hit 1, they're gonna check every doorway after that. It's not gonna get any kills. Do 2, do 3, you'll kill everyone. Legion A tier, Legion S tier. I think Legion's an S tier op because he is good for every single thing. He's good for solo queue. He's good for 5 stacking. He's good for console. He's good for PC. He's good for copper. He's good for champion. He's good in every rank and for every situation and on every site. Very versatile. He might not be the like strongest in terms of his ability, but his versatility combined with his large amount of strength makes him an S tier operator. Lion is next. I honestly, hot take, I think Lion is just like pretty ass. I think Lion's good in Pro League, and outside of that, I think people is just a waste. He could be like decent though. He could be decent. He also only has 2 flashes instead of 3, which might be also another reason to move him even lower. He's better than Callie, so we'll put him in the C tier. Maestro's very good outside of Brava always being picked when you play him, and I think Echo is better overall, but Maestro can still be decent. I think he's like a high B. I think he's like a high B. The 3 cams is nice. Plus, you can use the observation blockers to block the cameras to actually deal with the Brava. I'll put him high B. He's good. He's quite good. Maverick. I think he's very strong again. Just for opening lines of sight, stopping Bandit trick off rip, and just having the M4. Like, come on, let's be real. Maverick with the M4, gas. The thing is they can throw C4s out your Maverick holes very easily, and Tubero really messes with them. I will put him in the A tier. Right around here. I think that's good. Melusi has 4 Melusis, which are the best trap utility on defense, in my opinion. They slow people. They give tons of information. You can surround the site. Yes, Brava can hack them if she can get to all 4 without getting mute jammed or shot, because they are typically all around the site. And I think she's S tier. I think she's actually better than Legion for some of the same reasons. She has a secondary shotgun too. She's great for solo queue, great for 5 stack. However, she's much better in a team environment and to stop your teammates from getting screwed over because of the amount of control she can hold. Mira. Dude, I think Mira can be viable on every site. I've been rocking the Roy strat Miras, and they have been nasty. They have been nasty. You can put them on soft walls, reinforced walls, pocket them, play them late. There's so many ways to play Mira that people don't do that make her even stronger. Plus, she has the Vector and a C4. I love this operator. I think she's high A. I think she is still worthy of the bans. Yes, there are ways to counter with the Ashe with the Callie, but there's ways to counter that by pocketing them and placing them afterwards. That's right. Or with the Wamai, with the Jaeger, with the protection, with the team play. But even solo, like just forcing the defenders to have, or sorry, the attackers to have to deal with that is what makes her really good too. Monty. I think Monty might be bad again with the shield nerf. Why would you pick Monty over Blitz? I think you have to play Monty again like pre-shield buff, where you have to keep your distance and call out. He can still be a threat. He can still be a distraction. If this was Year 9 Season 3, I would put him in the S tier. But with the shield nerfs, I think he's not quite as good. I think he'll still be decent though, and he'll still be a good pick on maps like, you know, CCTV Clubhouse, the Rafters pressure, you know? But yeah, he did get a big nerf. He doesn't have the melee priority, so you have to ADS them to kill them now in most cases, or else you're risking a 50-50. I think Blitz is stronger now. I am going to put him low B. I think we'll see a major fall off on Monty players this season. Mozzie has 4 pests now, which is nice. I do wish he had the secondary shotty again. I think Mute is just a better operator like 90% of the time. I think really the only thing that makes sense of picking Mozzie is if you have a Mute as well, or if you're not ready to do like a lengthy setup and you just want to quickly place your pests around, fine. I don't think it's ever really like viable to like stop and get on your drone and move it around to another room and relocate and stuff, because it just takes so long. Unless you're playing like a support from in the site, but even then you're like kind of risking risking your own safety on the site by droning someone else around, which is kind of sketchy. Mute jammers just do so much more and they counter so many operators at the same time. Mozzie is just countering drones, right? He's okay though. He's like a B tier op in my opinion. It wouldn't be high B tier. I'll put him like around here. But then we have Mute, and like I just said, he is freaking nasty. Yeah, Mute is I think the best operator in the game. He counters so many operators, plus he counters drones at the same time. And shotguns got buffed. Mute Shoddy got buffed, dude. So Mute Shoddy will be even better now, which is insane. So yeah, Mute's gonna be top of the S tier. Best operator in the game. Let's freaking go. Knock. I think Knock is really only good in competitive. I think in ranked, people don't get on the cameras enough to justify picking her. I'm actually gonna put her in the F tier, low F. Plus her FMG is garbage. Knock is the worst attacker in the game, outside of competitive. Nomad might be the most underrated attacker in the game though. 3 air jabs, even with 2 flashes, she is still insanely good. Not only for flank watch, but aggressive plays with the air jabs. Is she S tier? She is not S tier, but I think Nomad is an A tier operator who is very good and very underutilized. I am going to put her right above Maverick in the A tier. So yeah, mid-A. Don't sleep on the Nomad, guys. Don't sleep on the Nomad. Oryx is next. Obviously, Oryx is not bringing a lot to the table, guys. I mean, I think there's just no reason to pick Oryx at all. Give me one reason. If the chat can give me one reason to pick Oryx right now, I'll move him up to D. What is one reason to pick Oryx over any other defender? All right, yeah, no. Congratulations, guys. Nobody has given me a single good reason. He's going to be F tier. Osa is next. I think Osa is good on a select few sites. Her shields are pretty weak, but she does dominate lines of sight. I think she's like a B tier operator. I think she's solid. I think she'll be better than Monty, but probably like a little bit worse than Blitz still. That's where I'm gonna put her. In the like mid-low B. We got Pulse next. Pulse, great for information, great for competitive, kind of bad in ranked, I'm not gonna lie. If you are playing Pulse and you're calling out to your team, the chances are your team isn't even reacting to that information. And if you are on your team and you have a Pulse, the chances are your Pulse is not calling out for your team. Plus, he's got the ump, so like, let's not go there. I'll put him here. Like, he is decent. He is decent. Obviously, C4s from below are good and stuff. His shotgun is going to be better, so maybe with the shotgun buff, he'll actually become like a B tier up, and like just Paul's shotgun will be the new wave, which could be cool. Let me know if I'm wrong. You know, if you see this video a few weeks after it comes out on YouTube, and you're like, oh, the Paul shotgun's nuts. He's A tier. Epic. Thanks for letting me know. Ram is next. Ram Ranch. Ram's really good. Ram is a very good operator. I think she's A tier and like a high A tier. Just under Brava here in the A tier. Not quite S, but very good for vertical play. Very good for like surprise rams through barricades. Lots of noise coverage, which is also very nice. Yeah, she's very solid. We got Rook next. I honestly think the Rook armor is not doing a whole lot, and I would rather have a Doc most of the time, but he is kind of on that same level as Doc. You just drop your plates, everyone gets them. It's an instant boost to everyone, and then you play confidently with them afterwards, right? He has a high win delta, which makes me want to put him in like B, but that delta is taken from like Diamond up or Emerald up even. Like it's taken from a really low rank and up. I think he's like a C. He's not super viable, and you probably shouldn't pick. I'm gonna put him in D, bro. I don't care. I'm putting him with the ops that you just like shouldn't pick, which are like these 3. Like, yes, they are stronger than these guys, but there's better options than them, which is why I'm gonna put Rook there too. Just pick Doc. Just pick Doc, or just pick Thunderbird, because Thunderbird has often been buffed. We'll get there soon. We'll get there soon. Sens. Speaking of buffs, we got Sens. Sens is very good. Basically, if you didn't know, you can now toggle your Sense walls on and off. So you can toggle them off, deploy all your Sense walls. They won't have any light with them. They'll just be like the literal paths for them. And then you can deploy them all at the same time. So it's essentially a timer of the length that the Sense walls last. So if a Sense wall lasts 15 seconds, let's say, that timer only goes down when the wall is on. So you can leave your walls the entire round and activate them all right at the end, which is really crazy, because what you can do is you can throw your walls down, rotate to where you want to be, light them up, and actually make a play off your walls. So you can actually use your walls for playmaking, plus Warden can't see through them, plus bulletproof cameras, Maestro cams can't see through them. So they actually achieve so much. So super, super good for planting, because they won't know where you're planting because they can't see through it. And that's kind of sick. However, if you're deploying the wall with them off, they can still impact the little trackers that it plays down. They can also shoot the ball as it's rolling. So they could deal with the walls before you get the opportunity to use them. So they have the time to destroy it, but they need the utility to destroy it. So if they're coordinated enough, they could say, hey, can you come over here and break this wall? And you're like, yeah, sure, man, I got it. And you run over, you impact it. Then when the Sense goes to make the play, you have a fucking hole in the wall and you can kill them. With that all being said, I think Sense will be pretty solid. I don't know if it's A tier or if it's B tier. I'm going to put it, just from the time I've played with Sens and the playtesting and stuff, I'm going to put them in the B tier. High B, top of B. Yeah, that's where I'm putting Sens. Sentry, I think, is like pretty mid, pretty bad, honestly. Why bring them, you know? Just bring some, if you want a C4, bring someone else with a C4. If you want impacts in a C4, like, get a life. You know what I mean? I think Sentry is like D, maybe C. The fact you have the shotgun for site setup, it's like a good solo queue operator. Realistically, you could just have one teammate bring that other one piece of utility. So I'm actually going to put Sentry in the D tier. I think Sentry is still just like, I don't know why we're picking him. You know, I just don't understand why we're picking Sentry. Sledges have a pretty big fall off lately. If they made Sledge like a little faster, I'd be like, hell yeah, Sledge is decent. But right now, Sledge is like honestly just kind of mid. He's fine. He's good. You can break castles. You know, if they have a castle, Sledge is good. You can bust through walls. He's very versatile. He's just good in general throughout a round. You know, he's very just well-rounded, I would say. But most of the time, you want targeted specific operators to do specific jobs. So I'm putting Sledge in like the C tier. Smoke. Now, if you are good with Smoke, he is literally the best defender in the game, maybe the second best. If you are good and you play him aggressively and you use the smokes to seal the distance to be aggressive with the shotgun. He also did just get a shotgun buff. I'm going to put him right here. I straight up think Smoke and Mute are just the two best defenders. With the shotgun buff and the SMG-11, these guys are going to be absolute powerhouses this season. Now, Solus has been so garbage. And picking Solus meant if you want to play below and stop the plant, you have to bring the shotgun because she doesn't have impacts. And that's a detriment because the shotgun is so bad. But now the shotgun is good. Potentially really good. Solus might actually be really solid now. That SMG-11 shotgun combo might actually be great. I am going to put her in the C tier just because, yes, she still doesn't have the impacts. And the fact you can't see exactly what is the bomb and you have to use the whole scan system is kind of annoying. It does make her a little weaker than like OP Solus days. But I think she is still going to be quite good this season with that shotgun buff. So I'm going to put her high C. Striker. Okay. Striker is very good for EMP hard breach combo, like playing off on your own, adding pressure that way, or bringing the flashes and nades and just being a powerhouse with the M4. The M4 is so nice. I think Striker's best asset is just having the M4. That gun is so freaking good, dude. Like, it's honestly maybe the best gun in the game right now. I know I've said AK-12 for like years, but I think the M4 might be better than the AK-12. That gun is disgusting. Top of the B. I think Striker's top of the B. Tachanka's ability is still horrendous, but if you're using the LMG, he can be decent. I am going to put him in the D tier as like, I'm just still never going to pick him, you know? Thatcher is next. I think Thatcher's EMPs just aren't as impactful as you think they might be. Plus, you can get away with just using secondary EMPs a lot. I think he's still good. Like, he's good for getting walls, and he's good for like maybe like burning some utility before a push, like throwing one at a doorway and then entering the site on a push. So like that's kind of the combo I use them for, is like help get the walls with 2 and then use the last one for like entering the site later in the round. But I think he's like, B tier. I don't know. I'd rather have like a Flores or just get the wall denial some other way, just to even secure a kill while you're getting the wall denial. Also very good. Thermite. Thermite's a fantastic hard breacher. Thermite's a fantastic hard breacher. He is definitely in the A tier. He's just great. You like the big gaping holes. That's what he's for. He's an A tier op. He's a really, really, really good hard breacher. Thorn is next. Thorn is actually like okay. Like, she's okay. I do compare her to Ella a lot of the time. I honestly think she might be even a little better than Ella right now. I think she's a good plant denial operator. I like to use her with the thorns in pocket to play her a little aggressively. I don't think she's B tier, but I think she's like decent C tier. Thunderbird buff is here. Thunderbirds will now heal you to full health over time. That is a crazy change. This makes Thunderbird much more effective. Plus, she has a secondary shotgun for site setup. However, you still have to think about the other team getting the Thunderbird. So if they take site, they can still get those stims and heal up. However, she has more healing potential than Doc now. I still think Doc is the better healer overall, but instead of being an F tier operator, I would move her up to the B tier. I would recommend using the shotgun bearing 9 combo because the spear is still pretty weak. I'm going to put her below IQ because I think Maestro is a better defender overall. Tubero is extremely good. I think he's S tier. You know, freezing walls, wasting time, late round pushes, wasting time. AR-15 is absolutely disgusting. Great combo with Bandit and Cage. Just great. I mean, you can pick up any site and he's going to be good. You can counter Dokkaebi. You can counter Deimos by freezing yourself, so that's also very nice. I think Cade is still going to be better overall because Cade gives you the opportunity to keep walls shut over the entire duration of the round if you're tricking, or even sometimes if you're not. Twitch. I don't run the F2 on Twitch. I actually run the DMR on Twitch because the F2 has some insane recoil. I think Twitch is very good right now. You know, she's just good. She's just a good operator right now. I think Brava's a lot better, but it really depends on what the lineup is of the defenders. I think she's still like an A tier op, probably like a low A, op over here with Doc. Maybe top B. You know, that's a pretty. We're in the same area, right? Valkyrie, 3 cams, C4, MPX, Deagle. What's not to love? I mean, she's one of the most just annoying operators to deal with in champ lobbies because if people are communicating and working with her cams, she's gonna be super, super annoying. In lower ranks, she's probably like B or C because they're not communicating and working as well off the information. But in champion and the high ranked lobbies, yeah, she is absolutely an S tier operator. And I'm gonna put her up there because that's where she is. Vigil is still so dumb with the Bosch SMG-12 combo. So annoying to deal with. He's actually one of my top bans in Year 9 Season 4, or 3, sorry, because he was just annoying to deal with. You can sit on a pixel and one-shot someone. That's kind of annoying. I would put him high A. He's not quite S tier, just because his ability is like not super impactful and not like an S tier ability. I mean, his ability is like realistic, like C tier, but then his loadout is like S tier, so he's gonna go A tier. Wamai might be very strong in this next season. I do think Wamai is just the better pick over Jaeger in most situations. I just think his guns are better and he has the impacts, which is nice. I think he's A tier. He's not quite S. He's not quite as good as Aruni even, I would say, but I think he's probably better than like Capcan Bandit. Like I think like a, yeah. Ying was nerfed in the new season and Warden was also nerfed. So Warden is like double nerfed, you know, because he's not like, you don't need him as much for the Ying. The Ying nerf realistically doesn't change that much. But then like Sense, he doesn't see through Sense walls either now. So it's another situation where you're like, oh, my Warden is actually not going to do a whole lot here. So where do we want to put him? I mean, the fact you can have the SMG-11 shotgun combo, I think that's the best way to play him. You can hold a really specific area with that and be immune to like flashbangs and stuff. But flashbangs were also nerfed. There's a triple nerf. Flashbangs were nerfed too. There's only 2 now instead of 3. And another reason to not bring him. Yeah, honestly, I think Warden might slide all the way down to the C tier here this season. Wow, the sad reality. Sorry, the shotgun got a buff, so he might be even better with the shotgun. Is it worth the B tier? Not quite, but I'll put him higher in the C tier. How's that? I'll put him here. The Ying nerf, like I mentioned with Warden, doesn't really change a whole lot. The only difference is when you charge it all the way, there's a slight roll on it before it starts popping, so the defenders have a little bit of time to react to it. The chances are they're probably still not going to shoot it. It's still going to go off. You're still going to be able to take that control. However, it might be hard to be more accurate because they don't instantly pop flash. So I think she will be a little bit weaker, but still very, very good. I would say she's probably like A tier right now. So I think I'm going to put her top of B. That might be too bad. Nah, no, she's got to be A. She's got to be S or A, right? She might be S tier still, dude. She's actually kind of underrated. I'm putting her low S. That's where she's going to be. Okay, Zero. Guys, I might have to rebrand to professional Zero hater because people hate how much I hate Zero. However, this is the thing, guys. If we slide into a Jaeger Wamai heavy meta because of the loss of flashbangs, which I honestly don't think we will because people just don't like playing Wamai and Jaeger. They're just not fun, so people aren't going to pick them still. That's what I think. But having the 6 cams is useful for burn, and he's good on a couple maps. He's okay. Zero's okay. He's not my cup of tea, but he's okay. I'm actually going to put him in B tier. 6 cameras, it's good. He's just not like S tier. Like everyone's like, S tier, he's the best. I'll put him high C, actually. Top of the C. I think he's better than Glass. To be fair, I think he's better than Glass, okay? That's good. That's a good spot. That's a good spot, okay? He's on another level than Glass. He's gonna go, yeah, I'm gonna put him low B. But then I have Sledge here, and I'm like, is he better than Sledge? Is he better than Gridlock? Okay, you know what? This is the decisive factor. Jackal is on another level than Zero. Os is on another level than Zero. Zero is in the B tier. I'm sorry. Zofia, 2 Heartbreach tools, 2 impacts, 2 stuns, lots of utility, still a 1 speed, still a little risky to use, still nobody likes to play her, but I think she's like a B tier op. It's very self-sufficient, very decent. And lastly, Scopos. Teleportation, heal herself with the teleportation. We've had a whole season to test her out. Where does Scopos lie now? Well, I'm not gonna lie. I think Scopos is a really good operator. I think they did a lot of good work with her. I think she's very effective and very good. And I am going to put Scopos. Drumroll, please. In the A tier, I'm going to put it right here. There we go. There's my tier list for Year 9 Season 4. Good luck out there, troops. Thank you for watching. Peace out.